this tiny little Greek island. Put my hair back down. This morning I am doing some refurbishing of old canvases, uh, from something like this, a little painting, a little study that I've done, and bringing it back to an original state so that I can use it again. And I'm really excited to be doing that. I just also made a video on that for the YouTube channel that speaks specifically of how you're going to do that, how you're going to put that together. Um, I've been doing that, been filming since yesterday. It's going to be kind of a longer video because there's a lot of showing what you're going to do, how to do it, the differences between painting on painting using acrylic gesso to paint over an old oil painting. Can you do it? What are the rules? How can it be done? And also taking the example of using an oil-based primer and what that means and how that goes in taking an old oil painting and putting on the gesso and starting a brand new painting. So for me, I this works really well because first of all, I like to reuse old canvases, ones that are never going to be sold, the practice stages, the 5-year, 10-year-old studies that I've got laying around. And I'll take a picture of the study and I'll put it in my iPhone and my folder that, these are my old paintings. And I can go back and use them for references and just kind of a timeline to see, oh, hey, 3 years ago, this is what your painting looked like. And now your painting looks different. And then take those canvases, these older studies, and sand them down or do what needs to be done, depending if I'm using acrylic gesso over the oil painting or oil-based primer over the oil painting. Everything kind of depends on the old painting and what you've done with it and what you want to do with it. So it takes some planning and some figuring out. I just did the video. I'm going to edit it today and put it up. But you can do it, right? You can use both acrylic gesso on an oil painting, as long as I'm going to give you the tip. As long as the painting is fully dry, which takes at least a year for the painting to get all the different layers of the painting dried up, settled in, and not expanding and contracting anymore, which would cause cracking if you put a thin layer or acrylics over an oil painting. The acrylic is going to crack. It's going to crack unless it's fully dry. So yes, you can use acrylic gesso over an old oil painting. Some of these oil paintings that I've got a stack of them, I've gone through them. I'm just, here's another one that I want to do. It's kind of a, yeah, I come back and forth. It's like, should I do this one or should I just try and fix the things that I want to fix with it? There's a couple of things that that I'm not happy with. I don't know. Maybe I'll keep this one for a while, but you can take an old oil painting and just cover it, especially if you're using oil-based primer. You can just go right in and paint right over it. So that's what's in the studio today. Later on, I want to get out and do some plein air painting and film that and get that up for you guys as well. And yeah, so I've also got some rearranging going on in the studio. I've brought in that monitor back there, which I'm going to try and use for reference photos, and see if I can get it to work right. If I can get the right coloring down. It's kind of an old monitor, so I'm not expecting too much, but I am going to give it a try and see if I can get it to come together in the right way. So that's pretty much it, you guys. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here today. I've got so much to do. I've put up this old painting. I actually thought that I would just refurbish this one as well. Um, but I think, but I think I can pull it together. Not sure. We'll see, we'll see. So, so that's pretty much it for today. Uh, what else? Earlier this morning, I was thinking about, I was listening to an Andrew Huberman podcast, and it was talking about using the natural cycles of the body, of the human body, and uh, optimizing, or by understanding how your body works and optimizing it so that you can be more productive and more active throughout your day without getting knocked off and kicked to the sidelines. And so I'm going to start implementing that. Usually I get up and yeah, I will have my coffee first thing in the morning. I'm going to push that back. I'm going to get out of bed and go walking instead, and do some exercise, and then come back, and then I have my coffee, and maybe only try and work back to one coffee a day. Now I drink two. And if I drink a third one, it's a decaf, but still, you know. So I'm going to just start to implement that, and then do like there's a 90-minute intense focused work where I think I'll come in and do my painting at that time, and then save the other things for the rest of the day, because I want my best time, and I am a morning person, so I want my best time to be in the studio, painting in the studio, and we'll see how that goes. The only problem that I do have in the mornings, it needs to be after 10:30, 11, because I do still get direct sunlight in here in the mornings, because I am facing northeast. So I am getting the eastern light coming in, which can mess up that 90-minute time. So I'm going to give it a try, and I'll let you know how it goes. But hey, what are you doing up? Hey, John. um, so, question for you: have you taken like I'll show this one here again, right? Like an old oil painting, and made it made it into a brand new canvas. Do you do that, and how do you do that? Yeah, what am I doing so late? Well, I had a very busy morning and got in here late. So I guess it would be like really early morning for you, you know? So that's pretty much what I've talked about. Oh no, not yet. I have reused stretchers. Yeah, yeah. This is a way I'm fixing a video right now. I'm editing it. Hopefully it will be up tonight if I can get it done in time. But it's taking these old canvases and how to actually refurbish them, how to make them like oil paintings. Can you put acrylic gesso on an oil painting and redo it? And what might happen if you don't follow some basic rules? Yes, you can do this. You can do it. So I've got a demonstration of that, and I also have a demonstration of using an oil-based primer. Sanding it down is definitely one way of working with any oil painting and refurbishing it. It really all depends, if for me, oftentimes these little canvases that I use are just painting a study, and the studies are not with a lot of impasto paint that's pretty thin anyways. So when I look at the painting, okay, so let's take an example. Here's an old painting that I'm thinking of getting rid of and starting over. And it's got not a lot of thick paint on it, not a lot, but there is some. Yeah, thank you, John. This is down at the beach area. This is the beach that I usually go swimming at, and I go down and paint. And I've been up on this side here, looking towards the beach, and this beautiful rock. Yeah, no, this one wasn't plein air. I did a study in plein air, and then came home and painted this. But there's a few things that I look at it, I'm like, yeah, maybe, but like I haven't got it's an easy fix, so I think I'm not gonna ruin this one. But let's say I was gonna paint over, what would I do? If it has some thicker paint on it, definitely sand it down, and then you can put acrylic gesso or oil painting primer, depending on the purpose of what you're doing. For me personally, I like to use oil painting primer, especially if I'm doing a larger piece. Especially if I'm doing a piece that will be going up for sale, I want to make sure 100% that it is going to be that there's not going to be any problems with it. So definitely sanding and getting some of the layers off, and just breaking it up so that the gesso can come in and rest on it. The most important thing is the timing of the painting. So let's say for this one, I'm using this as an example, but I couldn't actually go in and put on acrylic gesso on top of this, because this painting is about 6 months old, and that's not long enough. So you sand it down and then ground it again, right? Yeah, exactly. But let's say, because this is a study, so it's pretty much, it's thin paint. So I could just go in, if this were say 3 years old, just an old study that's been sitting around, hanging out, getting old, not doing anything, not being useful, but the support is perfectly fine. So why not redo it? You don't even need to sand it down when it is old, when it's an 3-year-old painting. I'd say, I mean, they say online about a year old, that you can do it. Hold on a sec. Let me get some examples. So this is a painting I did about 10 years ago. Okay. And so this oil paint is so used. It's so dry. I can just gesso over it and it's going to be fine. And with this one, I probably would, because this is an MDF board that I just get them cut up into different sizes when I go into the city. So I can just use gesso over this. So I'll take a photo of this, like a good photo, and put it in my files just to have, right? This was an attempt at a quite impatient, use the store-bought canvas, remove the canvas itself, and use the linen. Yeah, that's obviously another thing you can do. I mean, and I have done that many times. But like I said, I don't have access to an art store, and I have all of this stuff, and I have to be frugal right now, at this period in my life until we get the fishing boat fixed up again and out working. It's we still have a couple of months to go, so I'm just going through my old stuff and going, well, hey, you know. So let's take this for example. This was done. I started working on this. I was going to do a Christmas. It's a corabier, which is like an almond cookie with powdered sugar, and I was just kind of putting it together. Didn't like it, so I stopped painting it, and that was done in November, this past November. This I could not add acrylic gesso on top. If I did, it would crack. It just won't work, because it's still drying. Even though it's dry, uh, oh my God, fishing boat, a floating studio. No, no, I'm not a floating studio. My husband is a fisherman, and he goes out fishing. And about 4 years ago, a little over 4 years ago, uh, the fishing boat, there was bad weather. Uh, the machinery wasn't working right, and he crashed, and the boat sank. Like we lost that. We lost the boat. Um, I have done that. When we have a new boat, I'll do a thing on it when we're traveling out and painting, right? With all the movement and stuff. Yeah, yeah. So we lost everything, everything, everything. The entire boat just went down. So he has been rebuilding. It took 2 years, 2.5 years, in fact, to even get the licenses back and fixed and all the bureaucracy and red tape taken care of. Uh, and he built a new boat. I mean, this doesn't happen in a month, right? This takes years. So now he's on the second boat. We have 3 licenses. It's you can go back and look at whatever. I'm not gonna get into it, but he's building the second boat. The first boat is not big enough to go out where he was out fishing. It's just for this in this area. But this next one, he'll be able to go back out where he used to fish, out on the open sea, where all the lobsters are and where all the scorpion fish are, and yum, and the codfish and everything is out there. So he's going back out there. So when you have a painting that isn't fully dry, I mean, it can feel dry to the touch, but you cannot put acrylic gesso over this. But I could sand this down lightly and put oil painting primer. I would not I would not do that without sanding it down first, because the oil painting primer is leaner, much leaner than this last coat of paint that I have on here. And you have to think about the fat over lean rule, and make sure that it's okay. That's because this is I did it in November. If this were a 3 or 4 year old painting, I could just paint right over it. I wouldn't have to worry about it. Then I had this, which had something, I just painted over it. This must be acrylics. I don't even remember. But because I don't remember, what I'm going to do with this is use oil painting primer to make sure that that it's okay. And I will sand this back, try and get some of this. It's pretty dark. I don't like it. It doesn't excite me. So I'm just going to be Yeah, exactly. Exactly. This one especially because when I don't know what I've done and I can't remember, because I don't write everything down, it's a bad habit of mine that I don't write everything down. In fact, I just got a notebook specifically for that job to write everything down, what I'm doing, what I did, the sizes, the whatever, and to even mark the canvas that this is, an old oil painting, and I put on a new, I gessoed it with acrylic gesso, or I gessoed it with oil painting primer. I'm going to do the same with this one. This is a study, a quick study that I did, and this is fine. Tell me about it. Journals are good. I only have one, but I'm terrible at writing things down too. Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah. And I keep looking at this too and going, well, but then I have another one that is farther along, and I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes I just go back, and when I try and paint over an old canvas, and to fix it or to finish it, for some reason I have a very, very hard time getting it. I have to be in the perfect frame of mind and be all zen and all in the flow for it to actually work well. The other mistake that I make when I'm doing studies is I don't put out the exact colors that I'm using. And that's because I'm almost always using the limited palette. I'm a limited palette fan. I don't have a ton of colors on my palette. I don't need them. So so that's the other thing. You guys, I'm going to get going. Got lots to do, and I'm going to get going doing these things as well. Hopefully, I'll get the video up soon. You can watch that. Let me know what you think. So take care, everyone. Be inspired, be creative, be you. I'll see you all again tomorrow. Take care.